2 months ago, I went to get my hair cut and I just wanted a quick trim. I happened to be on Instagram and there's a local Instagram account called Green Pointers. Oh, there's a salon. Well, I need my hair cut. I should check them out. I make an appointment and I go in for a trim. When it was time for me to go get my hair cut again, I could not remember the name of the salon. You and I talk about this a lot, why it's important for salons to maintain a relationship with their customer when their customer's not at the salon.
When a person does business with you, we put them into what's called quadruple R funnel. What the R's stand for, the first one, retention. We want to retain that client. And so the best way to do that is continue to communicate with them by adding. The second R is review. So a Google review, a Trustpilot review, a Facebook review, super, super, super important. The third R is referral. If you refer somebody and someone comes and visits me, you get a free blowout, but guess what? So do they. The fourth R is research. Every major company is going to have this. This is market research. You want to be researching nonstop. You ask them questions about how you can improve your business, how you did, and start getting feedback as to where people are finding you. So that fourth R is critical and nobody's doing it.
Welcome to the Millionaire Hairstylist, where our focus is the financial well-being of creative professionals. And we're back. After an egregiously, inexcusably, inexplicably long hiatus, we have returned to your feed and we'll be coming to you twice a week. Monday and Thursday, we will drop new episodes from now until we're here. We're back. In fact, today on our release episode, our release date, we're dropping 3 episodes just to make things extra exciting. We hope you'll enjoy. Let's get into today's episode. This is what we'll call a Cash and Jordan episode. Cash Lawless, our founder, celebrity hairstylist, myself, Jordan, your host, as we talk about the number one mistake that salons are making. In fact, you're probably making this mistake with your salon or with your hairstyling business and what you can do to fix it. Let's get started. Cash, I don't know if you can tell, but I got a haircut.
Yeah, I can tell, and it looks pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
And, you know, Cash, I've been a little adrift as a person with hair ever since you left New York, because you used to cut my hair. And there was nothing better than having a person who knows my hair and knows my head. And you also were very influential in helping me become less of a, what would be the word, stodgy person with their hair.
Yeah.
Everything was too perfect, too put together,
Yes.
too like just so. And I think you sort of broke me out of that mold, although it took you a long time to wear me down because I was like, no,
everything was just way too groomed and perfect.
Too groomed and perfect. So I've learned my lesson, but you left, and I have bounced around the Brooklyn area going to various salons to get my hair cut. And about 2 months ago, I went to get my hair cut and I just wanted a quick trim. And I happened to be on Instagram and there's a local Instagram account called Green Pointers. And they...
Wait a minute, was this an ad or is this a search?
It was just organic scrolling on Instagram.
Okay.
And I saw a post from an account that I follow that posts about local businesses and like, check out this new restaurant, check out this whatever. It's a great sort of local...
Let's come back to that because that's a strategy. That's a marketing strategy we should talk about. Let's come back to that.
That's why I'm going to give this salon that I worked with points for this because they paid to have a post put on that account. So as an organic user, I'm scrolling through and I see, oh, there's a salon. And I don't know what it was about the post, but I just was like, well, I need my hair cut. I should check them out. And I hadn't really locked in on another salon that I've used over the years that I've really liked. So I was like, okay, let's check them out. I make an appointment and I go in for a trim and I walk out with a full haircut, like a full, even tighter than this haircut. But as much as it wasn't exactly what I was asking for, because I kind of came in for a trim and I walked out with something both more expensive and more aggressive, and my girlfriend wasn't super happy about it. It did look good. It was a good haircut. And it's the same guy who's just now did my hair, and he does a great job. When it was time now, a week within the last few days, for me to go get my haircut again, and I'm not making this up, I could not, for the life of me, remember the name of the salon
or the stylist.
I think I remember the name of the stylist, but it was like a first name thing. So it would not have helped.
Yeah. Yep.
Could not remember the name of the salon. So, I didn't even know what an email would have said to look for my email. So I didn't go to my email to look because I was like, oh, how do I find this place again? So I went on Google Maps and I typed in salon, and then I kind of hovered the map over my neighborhood and clicked search this area, and it didn't come up. And I was like, did they go out of business?
Big mistake.
I zoomed in to where I knew, because I have a good sense of geography. Like I can tell you which way is north anywhere I'm standing. I'm very
Jordan, you're brilliant. That's so hard to do in the New York grid system.
I'm in Brooklyn, by the way. There's no grid here. And also, you can criticize that as a cheap humble brag, but I will tell you, about half of New York City doesn't know which way north is. I promise you. Some people walk this way and some people don't. I promise you. If you say to half of New Yorkers go to the east side of Bryant Park, half of them will go no problem, and half of them will go which side's the east side? I don't know. Like, just some people are not oriented that. Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Because some people think like that and some people don't.
I lived in New York for over a decade, and someone's like, I know where north is. And I'm like,
okay, but I'll forget New York. I'll do it anywhere. If you set me somewhere, I can generally I have a good spatial.
I think that's true.
This is my point, though, is that I literally zoomed in on the map to the building that I knew that they were in, to the corner that I did, and then researched salon, and then it came up. And I went, there's the salon.
Wow.
And Cash, you and I talk about this a lot in our student workshops, and in our course, we talk about why it's important for salons to maintain a relationship with their customer when their customer is not at the salon. And I wasn't trying in this moment of my need to create a great story for us to talk about on the podcast. But it was just so ironic and so hilarious to me that it's like, I literally am trying to find the business with which to do business a second time. And I can't ever remember the name of the salon. And they did not contact me or stay in touch with me or send me a text or send me an email a single time to ensure that experience would happen or that I would remember the name of the salon. Let's just imagine for a second, because I was pretty dedicated. I really wanted to find this guy because I'm like, I'm going back there and get my hair cut again. And I did, and it was fine. But can you imagine if someone had said to me, there's a great salon, or so I'm really looking for a great salon. And I would go, there's a great salon called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a great salon. You should check them out. So it's like, it was so shocking. And by the way, Cash, I've been to 3 different salons in the last few years. 3 since you left. Not a single one of those salons who I have done business with, who has my email, who has my phone number, has ever followed up with me. Just to even say hello, just to check in, just to say, do you want to rebook? Just to any of the things that we talk about. And it's so mind numbing to me because you literally almost lost my business just because I don't remember what your salon is called. It's not burned into my skull. I just remember that I had a good experience on that street corner. And thank God I went back and I found them, and good for them. But I'm thinking, this is such a huge miss. Meanwhile, my dentist won't stop texting me. Meanwhile, my pharmacy won't stop texting me. Meanwhile, will always email. Like every other business I do business with is determined. Like every business I do business with is dead determined to make sure I am in a constant relationship with them, except the last 3 businesses that cut my hair.
So let's talk about this. I want to ask you a question here. Why were you looking or open to a new salon in the first place? What was wrong with the first salon?
I mean, I think the short answer is I wasn't bowled over with the cut that I got for the price that I paid. I think it's the short answer.
And you think if they had stayed top of mind and kind of like stayed up with you and shown you the cool stuff they were doing, or had said, hey, here's some new stuff we're doing, or had nurtured a relationship outside of the chair in any way, that you may have just gone back from pure
100%,
convenience?
100%. Because keep in mind, the reason that I found this newer salon is because it was like a guy who had gone on a date with a girl, but it was like just 1 or 2 dates. And then he's back on the dating app. It's just, I wasn't locked in. I didn't feel a relationship with that other salon. So I'm fair game. I'm scrolling and it's like, new salon. Oh, I also say a little closer to me geographically. So that's one thing they can't compete with. But sure. Yeah, none of those other salons were even trying to kind of keep me in the fold. It was just like, all right, you do your service and come back to us if you care to see us again. If you are a creative professional who wants to improve your relationship with money, go to millionairehairstylistpodcast.com, create a free student account, and you can access an entire library of educational resources geared at improving your financial well-being, including a lesson on the 3 phases of wealth building for creative professionals. Go to millionairehairstylistpodcast.com and sign up today.
So let's talk about this, because this is it's a pet peeve for you because of what we teach.
Yes.
And when we started going through funnels and nurture flows and how important staying top of mind after the transaction, before the transaction is, in gaining new clients and keeping the clients that you're paying for. Oh my gosh. I cannot tell you how many salons suffer from not nurturing a relationship and taking mind share outside of the transaction. They are purely transactional in most cases. So I think the big miss here for the salon, and you've mentioned this in the past, that it's a big pet peeve of yours, because you're like, why are you not marketing to me? And it's because I think so many hairstylists are scared to bother their clients. One, they're like, I don't want to market to them. I know them. And then two, it's, I don't have the time to like do that. I'm too busy. And then three, they don't know how to do it. So like, what even is a win back campaign or a nurture campaign or these types of things? Like, exactly. So there's a model that successful businesses use to take mind share and stay top of mind, because they know what powerful impact that can have on top and bottom line in their business, like revenue and profit. It makes a massive difference in retention. So if you're a business that's paying for customers, even if you're like a heavy walk, like New York is probably a lot of walk-in traffic, more so than a lot of cities. Even if you are paying for those customers through your space, through the sign that you put out there, whatever, and you're losing money if you're not getting them and keeping them. So this is one of the things that I think I see salons failing specifically the most, because dentists, chiropractors, they all have this dialed in and nailed it.
100%.
Right? But the salon industry doesn't. And for some of the reasons that I've listed. So I want to go over some of the things that salons, hairstylists individually, if you're an individual, if you're an independent, if you're, commission, whatever, it doesn't matter. You should be building your demand and establishing your authority as what you do and taking mind share. So taking mind share means when your dream audience, you think about your dream customers and all of them that you don't know out there, think of the word that you are niched down into, whatever your niche is. Like if, let's say it's platinum blonde, when they say the word or think the word platinum, they should think of you. But you can't do that with a single interaction. No. And the retention statistics on a single visit are not great. I don't even consider in my businesses that we have retained a customer until they come back 3 times. Because the way that the psychology of the customer goes is like, I'm going to try you out. Okay, great. Let's say you knocked it out of the park. Some people will love you immediately through personality, but there's a huge portion of an audience that will go, okay, that was great. Let's see if you can do it twice. And I'm speaking particularly about service businesses. Or is it the second time I go to the dentist, I have to wait 2 hours, but the first time was 2 minutes. And now it's like, oh God, am I going to have to do that again next time? So then there's people want to see that you're consistent in delivering the value that they got the first time or better the next time. So the second time is like the real trial. If they come back a third time, it means now you can do the service well and you can do it consistently, which is super important. But I think the big thing here is that we behind the chair, like I was a working hairstylist. I think we over assume our fame and our memorability
100%.
a lot of times. Because, oh my gosh, we had a conversation with that person for like an hour. And 6 weeks later, they can't remember my name or the name of my salon. Most people on the first visit cannot remember the name of the salon because they didn't build a relationship with the salon. They were in the space, and a lot of people can, but there's a lot of people that can't. So 100%. This is where a few strategies have to be in place. And these are called nurture strategies. And this is maintaining a relationship when you are not in the transaction to secure the next transaction for the long period of time. And what that does over time is it increases lifetime value of that customer.
Which is, by the way, there's nothing more important than the lifetime value of the customer. That is what you want from the customer. This, as you said, the single transaction is fine, but that the lifetime value is what keeps the lights on. It's that they're going to keep coming back. Yes. From a value perspective. That's what you base everything on. And I want to point out, I want you to dive into what we're going to talk about, Cash, this what we call the quadruple R funnel. But I just want to point out one really important thing, which is not only do you need to stay top of mind so that I'm just talking to these salons now, having this conversation, this therapeutic conversation. It's not only that you need to remind me that you exist. It's also, I picked that new salon, and now that I'm thinking about it, primarily because of how close they were. And I like doing things in my neighborhood. And the one salon that I've gone to the most since you left, like 3 or 4 times, is farther away. I went there because a friend recommended that I go there. I liked the service, but it was kind of far away. And it's important to remember, to your point, Cash, not only am I not necessarily going to remember the salon, the artist's name or the name of the salon, although I do remember the name of the salon I went to 3 times. It's, if you don't stay top of mind with me, you are doing nothing to compete with the forces of economics and convenience that will cause me to consider going elsewhere. Yeah. Right? So maybe I'm looking for a better price. Maybe I'm looking for a closer, more convenient location. If those 2 things are competing against you and you're doing nothing to maintain a relationship with me, it's like you're just letting the world steal me away.
Yes. Yeah. Attention is important, and you want to keep as much of it as you can, because there are always other considerations, especially in a price sensitive economy like we're in,
absolutely.
End of 2023.
So how do we do that, Cash?
So the way that this is done successfully, and I do this in my businesses, when a person does business with you, we put them into what's called a quadruple R funnel. Mm-hmm. And that is critical to have in your business. And I came up with the 4 R's because I wanted a really simple formula for how to nurture existing clients. So what the R's stand for, the first one is retention. So we want to retain that client. And so the best way to do that is continue to communicate with them by adding value. So what are the things that you could be sending to your client that would add value to them? Maybe it's an email that says, here's the 5 things I think every blonde needs to be doing at home in their home hair care routine, right? So your client leaves the salon and now they're getting an email that says, here's the things that I think you should be doing. And you can test whether these ideas are valuable on your social media, on your YouTube. You can post this exact same thing as a reel. And if it gets a lot of traction and does well, then you may want to consider those things, your top performing, most valuable posts, as email or text message content that would be very valuable to your new clients. So it's a great way to find this content. So that's retention, the first R. When they leave, you want to be sending a series of communications that add value. It can be new offerings at a discount. Come and try this new thing we're doing. It can be, check this article out that I wrote that you might find informative. It can be lots of different things. You need to know what your dream customer, what their pain points are, what their desires are, and what their demands are. So if you know that, then you can message that to them. The second R is review. So are you asking your customers for a review? Because reviews are helping you establish public authority if you're a local business. So a Google review, a Trustpilot review, a Facebook review, super, super, super important.
And again, let's talk about something that restaurants, let's just use it. They have got this dialed in. There's not a single reservation you make on Resi that you do not get a follow-up saying, how was your service at fill in the blank? Yep. So this is another blind spot, I think, for the world. So how do you ask for a review, Cash?
So the way that I do reviews is that I always offer a reward, and that's either a $5 Starbucks gift card or like an Amazon gift card, depending how hard up I am for reviews and if I find that this clientele isn't responding to that offer. I've paid as much as $200 Visa gift cards for reviews. The reviews are incredibly important. It just depends on your business type, and that financial model, $200 per person, may not work in your financial model, but you always want to offer some value and then make it as easy as possible. So when you're asking for a review, I'm extremely quick and concise with just an immediate call to action. How did we do? Click this link to leave us a 5-star review. I never ask for a review. I always ask for a 5-star review. I do this on Airbnb. You have to ask the world what you want. Like if you ask somebody for $20, they might give you $20. But if you ask for $100, they might have given you $50. So you have to ask for exactly what you want in these emails if you want them to take action. But I don't want you to feel guilty about doing this, because you have already provided so much value to this person by the time you're asking for a review. You're not saying,
right. Your communication with them has already been valuable.
Pay me, now do something for me. That's not the way to build a relationship. You want to have that transaction. You're taking their money. Now go add more value to them before you go ask for a review. So the second R is the attention is get a review. Super important that you put a button with a link that takes them directly to the space where they can type in a review. They shouldn't have to, it shouldn't take them to your Facebook page where they have to go find a place to make a recommendation. Shouldn't take them to your Google business page where they go find where to leave a review. Google provides you a shortcut link that will pop up a window with a chat box, like a little text box and the stars. You want that link because it should be one click between the time they're typing. I get asked for reviews from friends all the time, and I'm like, I can't even find your dang review link on your page. You just sent me this page. Where am I supposed to leave the review? So you want to make it as easy as possible, and you can do that by getting it down to one click. It has to be one click. So asking for a review. The third R is referral. You're going to continue adding value to that customer while they're not seeing you in between appointments, but in between, you're going to pepper in a referral request. So you have to ask for referrals. Now, the way to get referrals is I am extremely generous when I ask for referrals. I will either give them I will say, I have said this when I was building my clientele. I have given the prospect, my client, a free service, like a blowout. It's a low time, low cost service. Give them a free blowout in exchange for, making a referral. If you refer somebody and someone comes and visits me, you get a free blowout, but guess what? So do they. They will get a free thing. And so now what you've done is you might say, oh my gosh, well, I'm losing money. What if I do that all the time? Well, I would say to anybody who's concerned about giving their time away, if you're not booked right now, giving that small time away for at least, let's say, a 50% chance they come back. When you start calculating the lifetime value of that customer,
that's the money.
Thousands a year. Wouldn't you give away a free blow dry at a 50% chance? Like every other person comes back and stays with you for 3 to 5 years. Right. You have to think long term when you're making these investments with your time and in your business. Yes. And so if you're not in major demand, and you do not have a growing wait list of people because your schedule is you're so in demand, then you should be doing this constantly. You never want to stop generating demand because you should always be sending excess demand to your wait list. Now, when you ask for the referral, it should always be accompanied by a reward to the referrer and a reward to the person referred, the referee. Both people get something. I personally don't recommend discounting. You get something for free because look all around you and look how many businesses offer something for free. You can decide what that is. Anything that you can offer for free. You may even say, I just want to give out a fixed cost Starbucks gift card. Right. Or a product sample or a product. Yeah. A service elevation, a massage, but it needs to be generous. Shampoo or whatever. Yeah, whatever the thing is that you think is. It needs to be generous. If you have a $400 an hour service charge and you're offering a $12 free item, you need to consider whether that audience is really going to be motivated to make. Put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, does this actually? Because again, let's be clear what we're doing here. What you're not doing is just trying to give stuff away. What you're trying to do is incentivize that customer to generate more revenue for you. Yes. So that's the trade-off you're making. And again, it's like, well, I don't want to give away something for free. It's like, yeah, but if you give away something for free and it generates you $5,000 in lifetime value, would you do that again? And the answer is, yeah, absolutely, I would. Right. So that's the math you're doing. That's the equation that you're making. I was talking with one of my students yesterday on a call, and we were going over her marketing numbers, and she was just gathering the concept of lifetime value, annual customer valuable, frequency, all that kind of stuff, right? So her average ticket price was $575 because she's an extension specialist, and she is not booked solid right now. And she's got about 30 clients because she just started this career maybe she's been in it for about 8 months now, 9 months, something like that. And she has a $575 average ticket price. So when the person checks out, so a person comes in, the average that they spend is $575 every time they come in. And her frequency is about 5. So they come in about 5 times a year. So that she's making quite a bit of money. And I said, what would you pay for a new customer to come in your door? And she was like, well, like $100. And I was like, well, let me ask you this. How long do your customers stay with you when they see you? She's like, almost all of them stay. And none of them have really left yet. And while she's still brand new, she's seen everybody several times, right? Because she's not a new hairstylist, but a new to extension specialty.
Got it. It's a new service.
Right? So yeah. So she says, over the years that I've been doing this other stuff, like almost nobody leaves. Everybody that I see pretty much stays. Well, then I would say, well, let's take a look at let's say they stay for 3 years with you. And they come in 5 times a year and they pay $575. This is thousands of dollars. Would it be a good investment to pay $575 to earn $5,000? You have to ask yourself that question. Like, what am I willing to pay in order to gain that money? Because then when we looked at it, I was like, how quickly could you build a clientele if you were getting more people in the door for a free service up front, which means for the next few months, you might be doing a lot of free work. And maybe 50% of those people don't come back.
Right.
Maybe they don't come back, right? But the 50% that stayed, we calculated, would be worth $380,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you do the math on what am I willing to pay for a referral? One, referral is your most likely to be a retained client because they're coming from an existing client. It's not a cold lead.
Yes, it's the highest trust moment.
Highest trust
of review.
Yep. Yeah. And they are already the cheapest they can be. It's a referral. You get to decide what you're going to pay for it. You didn't spend $5,000 on marketing and go, oops, I didn't get anything for it.
Right.
It's a guaranteed client, at least for that single service. So what could you be giving away? What offers could you make to get more referrals and to get your customers to take action? And a lot of people say, well, I'm just nervous to ask for my clients to do that. I ask all the time because I know that they want free stuff too. So I'm always like, hey, like I do this in my businesses with my employees. I pay $5,000 for anybody that finds me a new employee that we keep more than 90 days. So I pay major referral fees internally because I know the people we love, if they can bring in people and save me all the marketing costs and all the headache of turnover of cold leads and cold hires, I would way rather hire internally hire somebody that is a referral from internal. Right. So we pay for those. And so if you're rewarding the action, don't even worry about it. Your clients are going to love making you referrals because they get something every time they do it and you train the behavior. Now, a lot of people might say, what if the referral doesn't book an appointment? I still reward the act of the referral, whether the referee shows up and pays or not. What I'm investing in is the act of referring, not the fact that their referral was successful. So if, let's say somebody comes in for a consultation and they were a referral and they don't book an appointment, I still give what I promised to the referrer. Because you want them to do it again. Okay, that one didn't book, but send me another one. Right? You want an army of people out there willing to do work for you. So that's referral. That's the third R. The fourth R is research. And if you've ever been in a position in your business where you've wondered what to do next, or what should I focus on, or how can I improve, or how would I grow my business next? This is the most critical part of this nurture sequence. You want to be surveying your customers through research. This is you doing research and asking them, how would you rate your service? How did you find us? What other are there services we don't currently offer that you wish we did? How did you feel about your stylist? There's so many questions that you could be asking. Keep it on these types of surveys. Like this is called a post-purchase survey. Every major company is going to have this. Every major company. This is market research. You want to be researching nonstop. And these are all things that are sent automatically. You ask them questions about how you can improve your business, how you did, and start getting feedback as to where people are finding you. How did they find the fairness of the service? Was the service within your time expectations? All the KPIs that you want to be monitoring and know in your business. Then the client is going to tell you where you can improve in your business instead of you having to come up with ideas for how to make your business better and do more business and grow. So that fourth R is critical, and nobody's doing it. Like not nobody. If you're a hairstylist,
no, but it's extremely uncommon. It's one thing to say, and let's be clear, this is not the same thing as a review, right? It's not saying, tell me about how you felt about your service.
This is internal.
Will you answer a series of questions that I specifically want to ask you about ways we can improve, what you like, what you didn't like, reasons, services you'd be interested in me provide, whatever the thing is you're trying to explore. Yeah. Regularly polling your customers is an absolute no-brainer. But yeah, it's something that few businesses, I think, do effectively. And
reward it. We always reward it. We give a 10% coupon when people fill out our long survey. We give a 5% coupon when they fill out the short one. We send a short one that's just 10 questions. And that is, here's 5% off your next purchase. We're so thankful. Let us know how we did, right? And we use Typeform as the platform to do our surveying. And then later in that flow, they get another 30 question survey that we pay them for in a larger discount. So one, we're driving them back. While we like doing the discounts, especially in this economy when everyone is hunting for a discount. We like doing the discounts because we know it's going to drive them back, rather than like giving a gift card or something like that. It's going to drive them back to the website and back to make another purchase. So every time they do something for us, it's an increased chance that they're just racking up discounts at our store. And so they're going to come back. And what we find is that when people use a discount, they spend more than they originally would have from a ticket size, right? Because it's a percentage-based discount. So they're going, the more I spend, the more I save. So they come back and wind up spending even more money with us. And we got all the information and feedback on how we can improve. Those are the 4 R's. It's retention, always be adding value. Review, always have them building your reputation. It's referral, always have them sending you new business. And it's the 4th R, research, always be understanding what your clients' need and demands are so that you can satisfy them.
Before we close this out, Cash, and wow, I'm sure everyone is sort of just like sitting back going like, whoa, that was a lot of information. And I feel like I want to take action on all of it. I want to immediately eliminate one very important excuse. And that excuse is, I don't have the time, I don't have the skill set, I don't have the bandwidth to write all of these emails you're talking about, write all these text messages, come up with things that would fit into this flow that you're describing to me. I'm busy. And to that I say, I'm going to do a little bit of a show and tell here. I'm just going to share my screen. Mm-hmm. We're going to go over to our friend ChatGPT. This is free. I happen to be using the paid version, but you could do this with the free version. Mm-hmm. I run a salon and I want to stay in touch with my customers after they've completed a service with me. Can you give me some ideas of value emails or texts I can send them on a weekly basis? Let's see what it does. Absolutely, staying in touch. And it starts giving me ideas of value that I can provide them. Obviously, some of these include the retention and the referral and the review, right? Style trends. What are the latest trends in hair, makeup, and beauty? Product highlights. Do you have a retail shelf? Is there products on that retail shelf you want to highlight? Customer appreciation, a thank you note, feedback requests. That's kind of like the research. Birthday and anniversary emails, events and workshops, loyalty program updates. This is an interesting one. Actually, I don't know if this is going to generate the same one. Oh, it did a different result than it did last time I tried this. It said, are you doing things in the community you want to update them about? Is there an animal in your salon that's really cute that people would like pictures from? Now, again, you say, okay, well, there's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of homework for me. Not so fast. Write me an email with subject line preview text. That's the part that goes underneath the subject line that you see on your iPhone or your Gmail browser. Preview text and body for each one of these value adds. Write a text message version as well. Keep it short. Mention my salon name, which is Jordan's Salon. Include places for me to paste a link to book or to take action if applicable.
Can't imagine what it's like listening to this right now, driving your car.
Well, that part.
Jordan the robot.
They're going to have to tune into the video version of this for. But basically, folks, as you can see on screen, there's no excuse anymore. There's just not. Now, this is weird because it's writing it in code, but that's an unusual result here. I'm not quite sure why that's doing that. The point is that it is going to write. It can write these emails for you, and maybe they're not perfect.
I'm writing HTML emails.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is doing. Yeah, and maybe they're not going to be first on the first draft, but that just saved you 10 hours of work. Now you can go spend an hour and tweak whatever they're going to write. But that's, I think, coming full circle in this conversation, Cash, and I'll stop sharing my screen. I think that's why I was so frustrated. Oh, and you're in the dark.
It's real cozy over here.
Really? Yeah. We're ending on a high note. But I'll just say this, and then we can let people go, and they can wonder what all that was as they're listening in their car. I think when I see GPT write those emails and texts, and I understand the flow you're talking about, and I recognize the fact that every business I do business with, does this, there's a moment. Now, I'm a weird consumer, obviously, but I can't help but wonder if I'm alone in this. I think there's a moment where your customer might start to wonder, why don't you treat me the way that other businesses treat me? And I'm an educated customer. And what I know is it wouldn't be that hard for you to implement this because you can basically have it done for free by a free AI, or at least the body of the email written. So there comes a moment where it's like, how much time are you willing to spend into showing your customers that you value them and building a relationship with them that is going to cause them to generate wealth for you? That's the question you should be asking yourself, I think. But maybe I'm just biased because I'm a pissy guy who wanted a haircut.
Yes. Well, now you've done all the work zooming in on the map to re-find your hairstylist because they weren't doing what they're supposed to be doing to build their business. But can you imagine how busy that salon would be and how much demand they would have on their service if they were implementing a quadruple R nurture campaign and funnel into their business? I mean, it could be pretty incredible.
It really could be. All right. Well, go and do likewise. If you're a hairstylist, if you're a creative professional, and you are interested in your financial well-being, remember to like and subscribe so that more episodes just like this one show up in your YouTube feed.